Hello and welcome to another episode here on the Mole Under Management channel. My name is ChaosMole and today we want to do a frame-by-frame look at the Cities Skylines 2 pre-order trailer, or as I call it, the most amazing strategy trailer in 2023, and of course the first time we are actually seeing gameplay for Cities Skylines 2. Now, if you are very active in the Skylines scene, then you're probably asking, who the hell are you? I'm just a normal strategy game player. I love Cities Skylines. I own all the expansions. I have hundreds of hours in the game. And yes, I'm looking forward to the second game. I know that is nothing in comparison to all the hardcore gamers out there who have thousands of hours in Skylines. But for me, Cities Skylines has a very special place in my heart because I was always somebody who loved SimCity. Then the new SimCity came out, the latest one. And, well, that wasn't really what a lot of people wanted. And then, thankfully, we got Cities Skylines, which just delivered on everything you could have hoped for. Yes, it had issues. Yes, there were things missing. Totally agree. And it's not perfect, but it did a lot of things right. And this is why I'm looking forward to the second one. I know people have some thoughts on the second one, especially after all those expansions and all those mods. People are asking, what are we doing here? Is this like a Sim situation where we are just starting from scratch and we have to buy like the same things again just to make you extra money? And let's be real here, if you have played some Paradox games in the past, we know how they like their DLCs and re-releases of some of the things which were actually already in the base game, previous one, and so on and so forth. Like, we have been there, right? We have been there. But nonetheless, one last thing before we are getting into this. Please, if you see anything I am missing out, I maybe misunderstand, because maybe I'm lacking some knowledge there, let me know down below in the comments, but please be nice about it. No need to be a dick. We all make mistakes, and be kind to each other is what I'm asking. Also, if you want to see more strategy games, trailers, and reviews for strategy games here on the Mole Under Management channel, don't forget to subscribe, because that's what we are doing here. The channel is only about strategy games, management games, building games. You will all find it here. But enough talk, let's jump into this. And this is already the first frame I want to talk about, because I know this is like, this doesn't really show us much. No, it actually shows quite a bit. Well, it shows some weird looking cars and also some weird artifacts here and there. Please ignore that. But I'm talking about what we see here. And the first thing, if you're zooming a little bit closer, you see electricity cables, power cables. That is something they have kind of teased at in the cinematic trailer, right? That they showed now that you kind of have to manage like the power grid better. In Cities Skylines 1, right, the power grid was basically just put down some power stations. Of course, you had to create electricity, duh. But when it came to the cable management, it was pretty much invisible at some point, and it was a no-brainer. Now I'm wondering if they might in the new game go a little bit further with the power grip and say, oh, power grid, not grip, grid, and say, hey, you know what? You have to manage that a little bit better. This is why we are also giving you more tools to, let's say, use the freeway here to connect the power grids over the different city districts. That was something which wasn't really possible in the first one, where you literally just had to bake like the big like power poles, which then created the connection to the power grid, right? So I'm wondering what they are doing here. But man, this looks already so much better. I mean, look at those curves in the street. This looks really, really good. By the way, don't mind what is happening with some of the cars showing up here in the bottom right corner. I assume they just changed the street, right? Like, this is what normally cars are doing in City Skylines when you just changed something and they're trying to rearrange themselves. But again, this looks already really good. Like, street management is really important. And then we have this shot. I know this is one of those shots where you go, oh, pretty, but you don't really think too much about it at first. But the more you are looking, the more you're realizing, oh, oh, there's a lot of stuff happening here. Like, we've clearly the skyline in the background, then some interesting tower. I assume this is like a radio tower or something. We have a ship coming in. We see like a harbor for the ship, probably for the cargo, right here in the background. So that is back. This could be the university. So it seems like a lot of the features we have already seen in Cities Skylines, which came in through expansions, will be here from the get-go, which is pretty cool. We also have some gas station here. Well, I'm assuming this is a gas station of some sort. We have our trains. And something else I noticed, especially with this shot, it's a bit darker, isn't it? It feels a bit less. You're looking at those miniature cities, and they're actually trying to go more into the direction of serious city simulation, which I find interesting to say the least. I always heard two opinions about this. People who absolutely love this miniature city feeling, and other people who completely disliked it, but still played the game because the game is amazing, right? So yeah, I'm kind of curious to see where they are going with this. Also, look at this. You have so many different buildings with so many different heights here. When you were going back to City Skylines and you were not using a lot of mods, keep in mind, I would not take into consideration all the amazing mods out there. I know that's a bit unfair, but there are so many there which can really change the game. If I would have to like compare to like certain mods out there, we would just sit here for the next 2 hours or so. But this is something people have been trying to do with mods, and even through like some of the official DLCs City Skylines had, to bring more variety to the looks of the building and not make them look like your usual, especially like American suburban flat houses everywhere kind of feel. And I really like what they are doing here. Also, what they are showcasing is that you can upgrade the houses. I don't know if this is the upgrade process or if you can really just change the look of some of the houses when you are changing the districts. We'll see that a little bit more when they're actually showing us some more gameplay, right? But again, this looks fantastic with all the different heights and looks. We have some train tracks back. This looks a bit meh. Again, don't look too much at the graphics, I would say, at this point. Maybe we are still getting some upgrades, but then again, most people look down on the city. Street cars are back. We have our disposal vehicle again. We have bikes. Like, so far, this looks pretty much like, okay, City Skylines here. There is a thing I want to point out in this particular shot. This is why I paused. And that's not really what we have already seen here, but it's this in the background. There seems to be like another university, some sort of school, something like that. And we are back there, which is great. Again, this seems to confirm that they are really trying to put as many of the gameplay features from the first one, which came through DLCs and expansion, immediately into the second one without having to buy all that, which would be fantastic, right? And after this shot, yeah, they're showing us like how the city started. There's not too much here. Well, I can pause here because this is actually a pretty great shot to see like the whole city they created and the multiple districts. And we have like a lot of island hopping here again. It seems like they're building some bridges to this new area now. And this is, I don't know what this is, to be honest. Could be a hospital of some sort. This is clearly a TV radio tower they're doing. We have to see exactly what that is. But there's a lot of stuff going on. And I love how much forest there is. Like, this is something I despised a little bit in the first one, that there were too many maps where it was just open fields. Sure, makes it a bit easier, but I always love to have like a lot of trees around my city, right? I really love that. But yeah, now they are showing like how the city was built but reversed, right? And how this all slowly started, which is a pretty nice contrast. And it seems bigger. Maybe I'm just imagining this, and this is because of the islands. But if you are looking at this, this looks much bigger than City Skylines 1 when it comes to the map size, right? And I wonder how far you can go, if they will limit you again through the districts you can buy, right? And then you can slowly build on it. I'm really curious on that. But let's jump a little bit forward and actually jump into some gameplay, because so far this wasn't gameplay. This was literally just show you some cinematic gameplay, but this is actually gameplay. We see the interface for the first time. And you know what my first reaction was when I saw this? Oh no, Chirpy is back. But it seems like this time it's not like in the middle of everything. You can just, put it down here and then it might not annoy you anymore, which is great. Cool. Love it. Pretty much all the icons we know so far are back. Yeah, they just updated some of the icons, but everything we have seen icon-wise at least is back. This one seems to be new, which shows you more connections, and I'm pretty much looking forward to get more overlays. Please give me more overlays. There were some lag in some overlays in the first one, which made it sometimes hard for you to understand what am I looking at, what is the problem here right now with the streets, why there's some like areas empty, why is nobody like moving in, why are industry moving away and it's not coming back. Like, give me more information on that. What they're showing here though is the new terraforming tool, and this looks a bit different, right? Also, no tool for water. Like, maybe this is not all the things they have, right? And this is just something they wanted to showcase to us. But yeah, I'm missing a bit you can also create like some seas and oceans and something like that. But it looks like more options in general. Like when they are moving around here, it looks definitely better. This one. Oh, God. Oh, my God. Look at this street grid. Oh. And also very important, all the information available to you. What the hell is going on here? And I just love that. I hope it's as easy as they make it look like. Right? Like, streets are super important. Some people would even go so far to say that yes, streets are the most important stuff in City Skylines, because if you are screwing it up, at some point your city is screwed, right? And you want to do it right. But just having this easy grid available to you is such an amazing thing. They're also showcasing now to you that underneath the streets, you can have what? Water, heat, and sewage. I assume that's heat, because they showed briefly that there will be seasons in the game, right? And we have like parking areas now. We have our roundabouts back. Yay, roundabout city. My dream. We have now a lot more bridges coming. Not more snapping options. Like, everything just seems to be super improved. And I love it. Like, especially when they are building here, this street in particular. This was always a bit of a head scratcher in the first one. If you didn't use any mods, building streets in a narrow area and try to connect them to another street, like, it seems like this time you can just go through it and you can just connect wherever you want without having this fiddly feeling Like it all felt very fickle, and you had some like snapping points which you had to work with no matter what. And it just seems to be more freedom this time, which I'm totally hyped for, because yeah, I had my bad days with the streets in Cities Skylines, and this seems to be so much better now, so much smoother. You can see now like how slowly the city comes in, right? Like look at this. So many more options also, where they are stopping points. And I'm just hoping that the whole car management will be much more fluent, and you don't have to use some like cheesy tricks. Like I was always somebody who was using a lot of roundabouts, and it was basically roundabout city. But hey, it helped to keep the traffic completely smooth. So you do what you can. But yeah, you have now parking lots, which is kind of cool. I'm hoping they're actually using it, and it feels more like a big city. We have also some industry here. I assume this is like, this looks more like a like coal and electricity. Maybe I'm wrong. We see some wood here. So maybe this is just industry and this is not anything for electricity. Maybe I'm completely wrong on that. But this looks really good. I also like the skyscrapers. They're definitely more skyscrapery-esque. This one. Whoa. Look at that. And this is what makes me happy and getting me excited for this game. I can finally decide what type of buildings I actually want here. Right? Like you could only upgrade them, and then sometimes they became bigger, or you could say, okay, this is my suburban area, and this is my urban area, and that was it. That's all you could do. And now we have this so much more options, and I'm just super happy about that. We can also finally see, this is very interesting, we can also finally see what other areas basically came back. We have, of course, our industry is back. And then we have our, well, it depends. Unfortunately, they are not showing it, but I assume those will be all the areas where you can do the shopping, right? I don't know if they will put like nightlife and something like that in there. Also, really cool. Look at that. You can choose the themes, European or American. Oh, that's awesome. Of course, that means we will get a lot of DLCs with different themes later on, which I'm okay with. I don't know what this is, and definitely I would assume this is industry, maybe heavy industry or something like that. This would be like the industry who is like producing something, and this would be the industry where you were getting raw resources like wood, oil, ores out of the ground. That's what this is, I assume. And then we have this one. Oh, this is office. Right. This is office. Right. Now remember that. Yeah. Pink is for office areas, which is also pretty cool. Like again, you can see that there's much more freedom here. You can also see how much the stability is, I assume, with the streets, how easy people can get or reach certain areas. And we can see here, this is red. This is the main street, or one of the main streets. So I'm wondering, what is causing this? What is causing this particular area to be red? Also, man, look at them. They have all issues with sound. It's too loud. Yeah, they're all complaining about the sound. And I'm kind of curious to see what you can do about it. But I mean, speaking about what they can do about it, we can see it right here. They have some sound barriers. Yeah, they put some sound barriers up on the street, which is kind of neat. They're showing how they're building some bridges, which is also really helpful because building bridges in the first one was also not the greatest feeling in the world. It was functional, it worked, right? Especially if you know what you were doing, making those type of connections with bridges was totally doable. But the moment you had a lot of stuff underground, like sometimes the bridge couldn't really connect because it was like confused where to go next and how to stabilize it right. And it seems like this time it's much smoother, which I'm completely okay with. But I love the sound barriers, by the way. And we have another beautiful shot on the city. This seems to be like very, very USA-esque. Oh, the big bridge. Oh, look at that. Double lanes. That's beautiful. Not much really to say about this, to be honest. I will not go back. So, this is actually really interesting. Here we have our university, a massive complex that offers education for the academically oriented citizens, provides the 4th level of education, and can be upgraded with an extension wing, a library, and a park. So, they're now adding extensions, and it seems like it's now a building. Like when you were going back to Cities Skylines 1, you could also build your university with multiple buildings, but you designated an area on the map where you said, okay, this is where the university goes, right? And I wonder if they are doing this here again, or if they're just saying, okay, you know what, at least for the beginning, those type of buildings will just be your standard buildings you put down. And then you can add some things on top of those buildings. But yeah, we are getting some more information like the average time for graduation, the amount of students, the employees, efficiency, yada, yada, yada. Like we are getting quite a bit of information here. Also, we see the upgrades we can now utilize. I wonder how much you can play around with how the university looks, right? Now, can you go in here and change around this garden area or like the outdoor area? Can you change that around? I wonder how much freedom you are getting. Yes, they're mentioning an operating district, so it's definitely in a district, but I don't know if they will use the same district thing they actually used in the first one. I'm kind of curious about that. Oh boy. So this is something I kind of hope we are not going down that route again. I'm not mad about it, but the upgrade system is back and they're not happy about it. So the upgrade, and I don't like that system, is back, and they just built a police station there. And you can also see here there's a transportation center, probably for the trains, and people just completely dislike that, right? We can just see it. If you're building too close, people would just hate that, and they might downgrade at some point, which I wonder if this time they're going through with it. You had to do a lot of dumb stuff to actually make people hate it so much that they will go downgrade or, well, outright leave their homes. I wonder if this time they're definitely more aggressive about it and are like, dude, I don't like this at all. We would downgrade the house, or, well, we would just leave immediately. But in the first one, you had to pull a lot of dumb shit to make people actually leave their houses, right? So I'm kind of curious on how easy it is to upgrade and downgrade a house in the end, right? So here we have another tram system. This time, oh my god, look at this. Oh my god. We actually have an overview where the tram is driving to, right? I assume the red color means they're completely full. And they don't have, no, actually red color means maybe there are no passengers at all, because they're saying right here that no, they don't have any passengers. I wonder if the color means anything, to be honest. But you can see the stations, you can see how long it takes. I wonder if you can actually make some changes to it immediately here. But the tram system looks absolutely awesome. Yeah, funny enough, I've never used a lot of trams in the first one, but this one looks like I should. I really, really should. Yeah. So there's the tram system. You can also now choose the ticket price. We can see the line usage, the assigned vehicles, different schedules. Oh, this is great that you can now say, okay, you're only driving at night. And there's the answer to my question. The color here is just the color. Doesn't mean anything. Okay, that makes sense. But I love the schedule. This is actually one of the things I would have loved to see a little bit more in the first one, that you can assign more schedules to more things in the game and just say, okay, you know what? You are definitely not operating at night. I know, there's like a district thing you can do and just say, okay, at night you're not allowed to do anything here. But I would too love to have something more on a case-to-case basis instead of just saying this whole district is not allowed to operate at night. That's the point I wanted to make. Then we have another beautiful shot from the top of a building on the city. Looks great. Again, don't look too closely on what is happening here in the streets. But nothing special here, I would say. We have some advertisements. Oh my god, the radio stations. I'm actually kind of looking forward to the radio stations now that I'm thinking about it. This is really neat. Oh yeah, here we can also finally see some more details about what is going on in this street, right? We can see the level 2 out of 5, the households living in this, the residents, the average wealth, they're wealthy bastards. Children, teens, adult, and seniors. So it seems to be a pretty good mix. Uneducated, poorly educated, educated, well educated, and highly educated. Oh my, lots of new like extra education here. I think we didn't have that many. Was it all? I thought we only had 4 in the first one. Is my mind tricking me right now? I think it was only 4 education levels, right? Why am I blanking on that right now? That's bad. That's bad. But I love the overview. This is a really nice presentation of what the hell is going on, and you can easily dissect what is going on. Oh, we have also a coal power plant, much bigger than the first one, and you can also choose certain upgrades to it. You can see the ground pollution is high, the air pollution is high, and the noise pollution is high. Yay! You can see the storage. So this is interesting. It now seems like that you have to store coal there. Now I know that in the first one, kinda had a system like that, but you could have also just imported the coal out of thin air. And I think you never had a chance that the coal power plant would run out of coal and then shuts down. It seems like that is now an option. I have to admit though, I didn't use the coal power plants a lot in the first one. Yeah. I was always like, green energy right from the beginning. Was a little bit more expensive, but I could just put it somewhere. It wasn't polluting anything. And yeah, that was always the thing I was going for. But yeah, this seems to be now much more expensive when it comes to the details of what you have to do when it comes to power management in the game, right? Which, as I mentioned before, seems to be now a theme in this game, that they are focusing more on the smaller aspects of city management. This is great. The air pollution, Like, you're not only seeing what is causing air pollution and how far it goes, but you can also see like who is creating a lot of air pollution immediately. Like, they give you immediately this overview just through colors and colorization about what the heck is going on here. Should I do something about it? Now, thankfully, the average pollution is only 12%, so the answer is probably not. But you can see the air pollution here, right? There's also traffic air pollution, which is cool. But more importantly, wind speed and direction. Yes, wind speed kind of existed. The same goes with direction in the first one, but it was a very, very static thing, right? And this time it seems to maybe change. And you have to look out for air pollution being dragged because of the wind direction into the city or something like that. That would be really cool. And it makes you really like just think about it more. Oh yeah, this is like the police thingy, right? Where they're showcasing again what they showed before, that they are like upgrading this area with the police. And we have jail and prison availability. We have the average crime probability, 29%. Damn, that's a pretty high one. But we can also see the police coverage, and that is kind of bad. At least when the street is like a giveaway here. Yep, the street coverage is not great. They showed here again with the traffic flow. This is amazing. This is one of the things where I'm in awe what they are doing here now with the colorization. Look at those literally rainbow colors at a certain point, where they're going into like a nice green, then we have some yellow spots here, then it becomes more orange, and then it just turns red into some areas, and you immediately realize, that's not good, because that is not just the traffic volume, but also the traffic flow. And I love that they are now giving you those two options that you can better dissect. Okay, is it the traffic flow which is a problem here, or if it is the volume, right? Because they are two different things. Yes, you can have a street where there is a lot of traffic, and that's completely fine, right? If you have a main street, there's a lot of traffic on it. Yeah, duh, it's the main street. But as long as the traffic flow is completely fine, then you don't really have to bother with it, right? And they are like they're showing now the difference between traffic flow and traffic volume. Like, you saw it actually, right? The bridge was green. But if you're going to traffic volume, there's a lot of stuff going on there, which is, again, completely fine, because the flow of that traffic is still working. So that's what they're showcasing here. Now, this time they're showcasing a little bit of the industry or specialized industry. And we have farms, right? Everything like farm related, some cotton industry, I assume, wood, or this will be coal. I don't know what that is. Oil? This is oil, and this is minerals? Maybe this is stone? Yeah. But this looks pretty great, and they give you definitely more information than in the previous one, right? They immediately give you the information like how much oil is there, how much ore, how much wood, how much fertilized land, and so on and so forth. And I know they did something in the first one, but I'm just hoping that there is more freedom this time, and you are not confined to very specific areas on the map. Oh, there we see how they are now transporting the wood, right? And they are probably transporting it into the city. And yes, you can still follow around trucks. Oh my gosh, look at this city. We have a football field right here, some soccer. I assume something research. We have, I think this is a power plant. I think this is a tidal power plant. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is just some really cool futuristic looking port for the people coming in. We have some ferry wheels in the background. Like this looks amazing. There's the airport. Or I'm pretty sure this is the airport. Looks like it. Like it seems like this time they just put a lot of features from the first one, from the DLCs, immediately into the main game. And now they're adding just like a lot of small things to it. And here are the seasons. This is something I've been looking forward to. Seasons. We never really got like seasons in the first one, right? Like you were confined to a specific season per map, and it always bothered me a bit because I like to do like snow maps, but I also wanted to have some moments where I'm not all the snow in the time, even though it just became June or July, right? So yeah, I'm loving what they're doing here, and here you have like a full look again. Ooh, they're zooming out fast, and night and daytime again. Also in there immediately. Keep in mind, you needed the DLC for that. And it looks great at night. It really does. But yeah, this was the last frame, basically, where they're showcasing the game. And again, it looks huge. It looks so much bigger than the first one, which is freaking amazing. And I'm getting even more hyped for this game. And I cannot believe that it comes out this soon. With that said, if I've missed something really important, please let me know down below in the comments. And I hope you enjoyed this very lengthy video though. With that said, don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed it. And also consider to subscribe, because there will definitely be more Cities Skylines here in the channel. And with that said, thanks so much for watching. Stay safe. Till then.